Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of General Geekery. I am Brian, and with me, as always, is JD.
Hello.
Think we were just gonna do just a random episode. I don't know that we had anything special planned for today. Uh,
Yeah, I got a couple of Street Fighter figures that unbox, and
and I've got,
yeah, and then I don't know. It's the day before Thanksgiving. I think we're just gonna shoot the shit for a little bit.
yeah, so
Um,
happy Thanksgiving. I also, I don't have something to unbox because I didn't wait to unbox it. I got the new Hiya toys, Baroness and Major Bludd on the same day, and was not going to wait to open those because I've been waiting for those for a long time. So I opened those, but I will review them. So we are going to do that. And the one thing that I also did get today and did not unbox. And this is our big announcement. We don't have a date set yet, but sitting there on the chair behind me, right there, is my Robo Skull Mark II SE. It came today. So JD's getting his Friday. And we've already talked to Ben Conway from Skeletron, and he is going to join us on the show as JD and I both unbox our Robo Skulls.
yep, he's gotta figure out when he's available because he's pretty busy right at the moment. Um,
Understandably so.
so but he said we'll hammer it out and he'll fit it in. But yeah, I've got a couple of Street Fighter figures to unbox. My pre-orders came in for two of them. Um, I thought I pre-ordered Guile too, but apparently not.
Whoops.
Because I looked, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I didn't. He was in the cart, and then I don't. I thought he was. I don't know. So I'll have to get Guile at some point. But
Did, did you miss him then?
uh, no, he's in stock. I looked at the website. He's in stock, but yeah, I just didn't pre-order him because Cammy, DJ, and Guile all came together in one wave, and somehow I only ordered two of them.
Huh.
So
Are they
um,
selling out? Out of curiosity, are the figures selling out?
I don't I don't think they're selling out so much as I wanted to make sure to get them in case they do sell out before Christmas.
Ah,
Um,
yeah, no,
so
good point.
so yeah, I'll have to get Guile. There's there's also uh, yeah, they've announced and shown prototypes of all of the rest of the contenders, but the rest of the Street Fighter lineup will be out next year. And I still don't have Ryu. He was the first. I think he was the first release, and I missed him, and I still haven't gotten him. So, um, yeah, the title character, the main guy, the avatar for the game, I missed him. So, um,
That's why I'm curious. I mean, if you miss one, are you still able to get them?
probably between Amazon and Big Bad Toy Store, I think I should be able to. But um, yeah, this is why when you do pre-orders, you got to make sure if you want all of them, you pre-order all of them.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I don't. I saw that John Grogan posted that he got his classified Storm Shadow version 2 um at wherever he found it in the wild somewhere, and he was talking about how he still liked hunting, doing toy hunting. And man, I went to Target last week. I went to two or three different Targets because I didn't have any custom projects going, and I was gonna pick up a couple of the Super 7 O-ring figures. I was gonna get the bat and the snake eyes and paint them because I wanted to do them in the vintage color schemes. And every place that I've seen on Facebook, people are like, these things are peg warming. I'm sick of seeing them. They're everywhere. I went to two or three different Targets and they didn't have any of them.
I've seen CoverGirl and I've seen Snake Eyes, two different shipments of them. But I've still yet to see a Bat or a Cobra Commander in stock. So I don't know. I think they're shipping them in. They must be shipping them in pairs
Mm.
or cases of just those particular characters. But I don't know because there's only two Snake Eyes and two Cover Girls at a time, and I've seen two different shipments because they briefly disappeared and then they showed up in stock again. So somebody bought them and then they restocked them, and there's no sign of the Cobras. I'm glad I wasn't invested in getting them.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the Snake Eyes, and that's like I that was kind of my point was that I'm done with hunting toys in person. It's just it's
It's
ridiculous.
frustrating. It's dumb. They don't. It,
It's
the
lot.
only place the only place I have a chance of finding this stuff in stock really is GameStop, and I don't go over there very often. But I mean, they don't get everything, and they don't always have it. But there's a better chance I'll find it there than I will at Target, and there's a much better chance I'll find it at Target than I ever will at Walmart. So
And that's when Julian was here last year, that's we ended up we started going off to Walmarts and Targets, and then we stopped doing that very quickly because they had fuck all and ended up just hitting all the GameStops in town, which is, I mean, you can't swing a dead cat in this town and not hit two or three GameStops. So, I mean, we probably went to 10 different GameStops over the course of the week that he was here and found tons of stuff there. But and I never think to do that unless somebody is with me. And I'm like sweating it, like, oh man, I got a friend from in from out of town. I need to show them a good time and let them find stuff that they can't find at home. And where can I do that? Because it ain't gonna be Target and Walmart. Oh yeah, GameStop.
no, yeah, because I see people post photos on Facebook of figures sitting on the shelf at Target and Walmart, and I'm like, I don't. Walmart, they have Recondo here, and that's it. They don't have anything else.
None of the Walmarts here carry GI Joe anymore at all.
If it wasn't for the Recondos that were peg warming at Walmart, I would think that this Walmart didn't carry them anymore either. So,
Yeah, no,
and
they don't. They don't even have none of the Walmarts here even have a spot for GI Joe stuff anymore. Uh,
um,
so two things that I did see that I was kind of surprised, and just based on how quickly the original figures were retro Snow Serpent and retro Eel. And I mean, everyone remembers how quickly that eel and both that eel and that Snow Serpent sold out. So I was, I'm happy for the people that missed the first ones because they're able to get the retro release at least. And I like the paint on the retro Snow Serpent better than the first version. And the retro eel, the tampo and the handle, the lanyard on his spear gun are the only difference between that and the original one. So,
I
you know,
did get a retro Snow Serpent, and it figures phenomenal. And I don't know if I like it or the first release better. All I know is they both need new gear. So,
yeah.
but I found an eBay seller that has proper snowshoes for them, and
Who we need to get on the show because apparently this is someone that we've known for years from the
I
boards.
didn't know. Um,
Carnage. That's Carnage 717.
um, yeah, he's got a pretty extensive eBay store for
Yeah.
1/12 scale parts and accessories.
Yeah,
So
a lot of 118 scale stuff too. He's done a bunch of heads for me. He did my Roy Scheider head for my Blue Thunder custom. Um, I've bought the Hydro Viper accessory pack that he put together for 118 scale because I was going to do a female uh, Hydro Viper at some point in time. I don't know when, but
what
um,
happened to that?
I didn't want to sculpt. the didn't want to sculpt the like scales because the original figure has like scales sculpted to it. So
Well, at least you're consistent. Um,
much, but at least I've got the parts. So if I find a figure that I like, that's to me it's something I could see Boss Fight doing at some point in time. They'll put out a figure that has scale sculpted on it, and it will be
at least if you can find a figure that's like wearing chainmail or something, you can just paint it and pretend that it's scale.
yeah.
Um,
So I figure I might as well have the parts on hand. I'll come across a figure at some point in time, and I'll be like, hey, you know what? That'll be a perfect figure for that.
I think you should just sculpt the scales.
I'm
I think you should.
I will be honest, I am tempted, but probably not going to.
Um, well, and if you do, you'll just text me and say, "Wow, I really hate sculpting." So
Yeah, pretty much. That is pretty much the standard affair there. One of the things that I was going to mention, um, let me see if I can do it here. Uh, one of the things that I've been working on recently for my customs, if you follow me on Facebook, you've probably already seen them. Uh, I am just madly in love with the Fresh Monkey Fiction Monster Force stuff. I think it is phenomenal. I have a couple of the 1/18 scale figures. I have a bunch of the 1/12 scale figures in my pile of loot, which is getting packed as we speak. So, um, as soon as I have those, we will be talking about those, and we are going to try and get Bill Murphy back on the show. Uh, we had him on the audio podcast of
yeah, way back when the Eagle Force Returns Kickstarter was live.
exactly.
Um,
We had him on for the
so
Force Kickstarter, so we would like to get him back on the show to talk about Eagle Force and Monster Force. So, uh, just yesterday, let me see if I can do this. Mm, just yesterday, he announced that, or Big Bad Toy Store put him up the announcement for the Wave 3 or Season 3, as he's calling them, of the Monster Force figures. So we've got the Dr. Tanis Rand, who looks like Dr. Quest, which I think is fantastic. I absolutely love that homage to Johnny Quest. Uh, Commander Gridiron. I saw this pre-order or saw the proto figure for it just after we had Mark from Gridiron on the show, and I thought, man, they did a fantastic job with the likeness on that head.
yeah, it looks just like him.
The Goblin, they have a 1/18 scale figure of this character out already. I missed that figure. I did not pick that one up. But the 1/12 scale is coming out in this next wave. The Red Demon, which is kind of a samurai figure, which looks phenomenal. I absolutely love this figure.
Dude, that head sculpt, that it's like a Oni mask. That
Yeah,
is sweet looking.
yeah, I absolutely love what they're doing with these. These are fantastic. Uh,
Those
the
are much better ninja weapons than the ones Hasbro's making too.
Yeah, well, that's because Gridiron's doing the weapons for these guys.
I know. I was making a dig at Hasbro.
Mr. C, who is the historian. I'm not particularly excited by this figure. I like the
I
concept, but nothing really grabs me on this
I
one.
don't like the aesthetics of it. That the hood with the he looks like a banker that's wearing a hood. I don't know. That's
It is kind of weird.
weird.
I'm not real enamored with this particular one, but it's the only one out of the set that I didn't immediately just like, oh, I got to have that. And then the ambassador to Ryleth, which is a nod to H.P. Lovecraft, obviously the Cthulhu style head there. I love this figure. I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. I'm actually reading the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft at this point, at this moment. Uh, Beginning of October, I told my wife, I'm like, I need something to read. I've read everything that I had sitting around. And my wife said, well, it's almost Halloween. Start reading Lovecraft. I'm like, you know what? That's a fantastic idea. So I got the complete works for free on Amazon for my reader.
Um,
And if you
I'm
buy the
looking
set,
at this figure.
Jay, what? Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm looking at this figure, and all I can think is they took the Marvel Hydra logo and they made a character out of it.
Yeah, I can see that. Um,
Um,
Having been a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan since high school, I didn't see that. Um, I just immediately saw the Cthulhu. If you buy the set, you get the bonus pack, which is an extra helmet for Gridiron, another mask for Mr. Legacy, and then an H.P. Lovecraft homage head for the ambassador, which I think is pretty cool.
oh, that's supposed to be H.P. Lovecraft.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say there's a masthead sculpt. There's like a breathing apparatus head sculpt and a portrait of some dude.
Yep. No,
So,
that's H.P. Lovecraft. They did a really good job with that. That looks just like him.
oh, see, I didn't recognize him because they didn't sculpt any of the bigotry or racism into the head sculpt. So
Oh, fair enough. So,
those figures, they're cool looking. That the demon guy, that's badass.
I absolutely love what they're doing. I can't wait to get Bill Murphy back on the show and just have him blather on about what they've put out and what they've got coming. There's rumors that there are going to be 1/18th scale Monster Force figures going up for pre-order in January. So we will definitely talk about that when those get announced. JD was going to unbox some stuff.
All right, so with our new technical setup that we have, I'll start with DJ, who's kind of a mixed martial arts guy. Both of these figures were uh, the new challengers in Super Street Fighter 2. Um, so that's three of the four that are out now. Um,
Fortunately, JD has like a parabolic mic, and if he's not talking straight at the computer, it doesn't hear him.
great.
So yeah,
All right, so
we're still figuring out some of the logistics of this. I mean, just bear with us. It'll get better, but it's a new feature for us. So yeah, there are going to be some bugs on it.
yeah.
But I still think the premise is sound.
All right, so I'll start with DJ, who was basically, I think he was like a mixed martial artist way back in the early 90s, back before MMA was really a thing. Um, but the figure is extremely nice. The head sculpt, he looks straight out of the game.
Nice.
Yeah, and then he's got
Oh,
that too. The background is straight off of his Jamaica level in Street Fighter 2. In Super Street Fighter 2.
nice. I like the fact that you can use the insert from the packaging as display.
It's nice, isn't it? And I can practically hear the calypso music from that level when I look at that background insert.
See, I know fuck all about these characters. I know nothing. So yeah, now the it worked.
So, in essence, in the early 90s, fighting video games were all the rage. But if you think about like 1993, 1994, there was the Mortal Kombat and the Street Fighter. I mean, there were other games too, but people
The,
tended to gravitate towards one or the other. I was more Street Fighter because, for one, it's what they call a button masher, which means you don't have to hit everything in the right order. You can just you can just push all the buttons and you can make it work. You can win the fight. You might not be able to do all the special moves, but you'll be able to pull some of them off. And then Mortal Kombat was more precise. You had to know the specific combination with the letter buttons and the directional pad on the controller. Mortal Kombat had, there was the blood and the guts and the fatalities and all that. And I love all the characters, but I sucked ass at playing that game. Where I could, Street Fighter for me was more fun because I like the more cartoony graphics of. I like the aesthetics of it. I like the music of it, and I like the fact that I could play it. So, um, but this figure, he's got two heads. So yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah. Then all of the alternate head sculpts I think are really nice, but I tend to like the more neutral. But in this case, I love this grin. I love the grin that he's got. It's straight off of his victory screen. Um, the articulation is standard. It's identical to the articulation that you see on the GI Joe classified stuff, which is why they interact so beautifully with the classified stuff. And there was supposed to be um, at the tail after the first two series, or after the first Street Fighter series that was GI Joe, and then the Street Fighter movie stuff. There was supposed to, or before the Street Fighter movie stuff, they were supposed to add those last four characters, Cammy, DJ, Thunderhawk, and Fei Long, into the GI Joe line, but it didn't fit in the schedule because the Street Fighter movie came out. They dropped the ball on all of the toys, and so this is actually the first time Street Fighter, the final challengers, have been available, as far as I know. Maybe other licensees have had it, but Jada is the first to immortalize them for wide release, and this is spectacular. I really like this figure. And then here we've got Cammy, who's I think supposed to be an SAS agent, but uh, her uniform's not regulation, but that's part of the appeal. I mean, clearly, I was 14, 13 or 14 when the game came out. It was part of the appeal.
Yeah, who doesn't like Cammy?
Um, People without eyes, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Um, and again, her background has
Oh
has
no.
the aurora borealis. You can practically hear the music coming off of it because in the game, her level looks like it's on one of the outer walls of the castle because, well, England castles, that's what they do. So the figure, look at that.
Nice.
Those are some curb stomping boots.
Yeah, they are.
Um, and once she does that, like that drill kit that she has in the game, uh, yeah, I think she can take off a Cobra Trooper's helmet with that. Um, Braids, nice and flexible.
Nice.
Hair, nice and flexible. It's not going to break. Um, I mean, yeah, okay, can't help it. Come on now.
Right.
Um, but really, just she's got the alternate head with the yelling head sculpt, but yeah, I really just prefer this. Oh yeah, I just kicked her ass. Look, so
Nice.
um,
I yeah, that looks like a nice figure for sure.
Um, and again, they look straight out of the game, and yet they're just this side of realistic enough that they can interact with the other 1/12 scale figures that are out there and not look out of place. They don't look cartoony. Um, I mean, like I said, not photorealistic, but in my opinion, I think they blend nicely.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That's if that is one thing that puts me off about several of the toy lines that are really popular is that they're just too cartoony for me. These are not. I mean, if I was vested in the property, I would have no problem picking these up.
See, these guys, Street Fighter 2 is my favorite video game of all time. And it only got more exciting for me once the um,
There we go.
so um, I got more excited when they added new characters, but that tracks because what's my favorite thing about every year of GI Joe that came out? Oh, look, new characters. Um, um, so when they added the final challengers, and then actually they called them the final challengers because they were the final playable characters, like on the good side of things against M Bison and his cronies. But there was one more character that they added at the end, but he was the corrupted sensei of Ken and Ryu, um, Akuma. He's got a figure coming out too. He's going to be the final release from the series. But I just, as much as I love the look of the Monster Force stuff, this is this is why I can't get a lot of that because
Ah,
well,
yeah.
there's Street Fighter and occasional occasional Marvel stuff. Um, so um, but Cammy and DJ came in today, and I'm gonna order Guile, and at some point I'll get Ryu. They don't have the next series up for, but I've up for pre-order yet. But back at San Diego Comic Con, Travis from
Well, you're talking
a toy kind of
so as JD is mentioning
uh,
here is the Big Bad Toy Stores, Jada's Street Fighter 2. So you can see that the Final Challenge Bison Player 2 version is in.
I
So
just 2 weeks ago I got M Bison Player Two, Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. The Player Two quarters. What that is if both characters, if you were playing with another like live player, not against the computer,
right.
if you both wanted to play as Ryu, there was a or the same character, then one of you uses the original color scheme, and then there's the player two. Well, Big Bad Toy Store exclusive of M Bison in the player two colors in the teal, and that's the one I had to get. I skipped the regular M Bison in favor of the player two version because I love that. I love that teal and red color scheme. When the GI Joe Street Fighter toy line was out, when they introduced the vehicles, which were repaints of GI Joe vehicles, um, I was annoyed that the Crimson Cruiser, which was basically the GI Joe Badger, but in like maroon, came with M Bison, but he was in his player two colors, where the carded version was in the red player one colors. I'm like, oh, but I never had a Crimson Cruiser, so now I have a player two M Bison GI Joe figure. But when Big Bad Toy Store announced the pre-order for the player two M Bison exclusive repaint, I'm like, oh, that's it, that's the one. Because I had just skipped because I had seen M Bison in the store just the day before, but I was like, not right now. I'll get him later. And then they announced that. I'm like, never mind, player one, forget you. So, but the not all the characters have the player two colors, but I was glad that he did. Um,
yeah,
but
that's a clever gimmick. I like that. That's pretty cool.
yeah, I think um yeah, because Ken has the player two version, but he's in the white gi, and then like Ryu, but Ryu's player two colors is like I want to say it's dark gray. there was um yeah, so I got M Bison uh yeah, a couple weeks ago. And but yeah, back at San Diego Comic Con this past summer, Travis Moody from A Toy Kind of Mood interviewed the guy who oversees the Street Fighter line at Jada, and then they were showing off the prototypes in like a diorama of like the Street Fighter, like a big melee battle, like all the characters, and that was the first time I think that we'd seen the Jada Toys version of Zangief, Blanca, Sagat, Thunderhawk, E Honda, Balrog, and Akuma. So and Vega. So none of those are out yet. Pre-orders aren't up yet, but I will absolutely be getting them when they are. So so yeah, I'm a big fan of this line. And
Prices look
like I
pretty
said, back in 1993, the very first time I walked into that Kmart and I saw Vega and Ken and I think it was Chun Li in the Street Fighter GI Joe packaging. I'm like, oh, Hasbro's catering to me. Thank you. Um, so
Yeah, I was gonna say the prices look pretty reasonable. 20
I was gonna say they're right on par with the GI
classified.
Joe classified stuff. So
I think they look like they fit well with the line and they're reasonably priced and they look like they're well built and all around decent action figures. I like the fact that they've got, the insert from the packaging can be used as a display. I think
um,
that's to
yeah,
me that's bordering on what I consider a perfect action figure.
yeah, I think Jada Toys they're knocking it out of the park. And in addition to that, they have uh their own property. They've got a cyberpunk line coming out where they're their own characters and their own designs, I think.
Huh.
Unless they're from a game, I'm not really sure. There's a game called Cyberpunk 2077. It's not that. But
What
these cyberpunk figures, oh, they're kind of cool looking. I don't know that I would need to get them, but um they're nice. And these figures, they're very well built, they're very solid. I have not seen a quality control problem with them yet. Um, so
uh,
yeah, I would say
it
that they're
is from that game.
what's that?
It is from that game.
Is it
Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077.
really okay? Yeah, last time I looked at those figures, I didn't see the 2077. I just saw I looked at the figure. I basically did this with the figures and then thought, no, I can't afford that too.
Yeah, they're
But
they're kind of all over they only have two up for pre-order on Amazon, Lucy and David Martinez. They're kind of all over one must be a deluxe or something because one's 44.99, the other one's 29.99.
um it's the first time Jada is experimenting uh textile clothing
Oh yeah,
for the 112th line. So like I think the one guy's jacket is fabric.
it is.
Um
It is.
and yeah, I think all the characters are gonna have some kind of soft goods. So but that's why they're not uniform pricing. It depends on the character size and what they're doing with the specifics of it. But I am glad that all of the Street Fighter figures are uniformly the same price, except I think Blanca and Zangief. They're coming out. They're going to be the first deluxe Street Fighter figures, because they're both bigger characters and they're going to have
Bigger.
uh,
That's cool.
yeah, so bigger alternate heads, bigger like the effects that
Oh,
like the superpower effect. So
yeah, power up effects.
yeah, um, but yeah, so yeah, I got Cammy and DJ today. I'm gonna order Guile because I'm a dumbass, and um, I will I will take pictures of at some point real soon. I'm gonna because when I got the Fei Long figure last spring. I took pictures of him and Quick Kick fighting in the driveway. So I need to get some more pictures of these figures fighting my Joes. Um,
Absolutely. All right. One other thing I was going to mention real quick. We were talking about the Monster Force pre-order. Um, Apparently those figures are part one of the Wave 3 figures because it
oh,
says,
part one. So they haven't shown off part two yet.
oh, I haven't seen previews for any other stuff, so I don't. That's
They're probably keeping them under wraps for now. Like they're probably gonna do a like a holiday surprise and hey, here's the rest of the figures and everybody's wallets are gonna cry a collective groan uh being overextended.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, that's I'm interested to see those, what they have. All right, I am going to do a quick review here on the Hiya Toys G.I. Joe figures. Sorry, we're still doing technical difficulties here. First one is the Baroness. She has an alternate hairpiece that comes with her. It's really hard to tell the difference between the extra one. I don't have it sitting here. I forgot to grab it and bring it down. The It's really hard to tell the difference between the one that's on her head and the extra one. So,
this one just has the purple tips to her hair, right?
oh, they both do.
Oh, they do. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, they both have the purple tips. She comes with this really cool Uzi. My only complaint, well, one of my two complaints for this figure, is that the Uzi's handle is so big that it does not fit well in her hand.
Oh, so it stretches her hand out a little bit.
Stretches her hand out a lot. It does
Oh.
not fit well at all. She comes with removable pistols on both sides. I love the dual, like the attention to detail, and the slide is a different color than the frame, which
Oh
is
yeah, that's nice. Okay. That's good detail.
this is really hard to do without looking at it. I'm looking at my phone doing this, so this is really hard to do. So yeah, two removable pistols. The magazine is a different color too. So I mean, it's actually three colors on the just the pistol. And then she has a holdout knife here too that's also removable. Guys like threading a needle with your eyes closed. My only other complaint is she does not stand on her own. At least mine does not. So
And then the stand fell away. So she's not standing at all.
yeah, definitely needs the figure stand for this. Hiya Toys uses a proprietary foot peg size, which annoys the hell out of me. So if they don't stand on their own, you have to use their stand, and their stands are huge.
I was gonna say if you're lining things up on the shelf, you're gonna have huge spaces between those figures.
Yeah. Um, some of them do stand on their own, so probably what I will do is put the ones that have to stand on the stand next to each other and then interspace them with the ones that can stand by themselves. But because I display all of my loose figures now, that's what I spent a lot of the year working on. Because I was going to mention one of the things that we're going to do coming up is, well, I always do a year-end review of my customs, and then JD and I will do a top 10 acquisitions list for the year. So we don't have those scheduled yet, but
Nah, we'll do them just before New Year's, probably like we did last year.
yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring.
Yeah,
The
because I've already started making my list.
I have
So
two. I've got mine started too. The other figure that I got was the Hiya Toys Major Bludd. It is pretty much spitting image of the classified version. The figure itself is fantastic. The complaints that I have seen for both this and Baroness is the head sculpt. I don't see the see the problems with the Baroness. I think it's a fantastic head sculpt.
I I like that Baroness figure. I think the head sculpt. I've seen a complaint about the glasses too, but I think they look fine. I like the way they did that. I like the way they handled it. You can see she's wearing the glasses without having big goofy lenses,
Yeah,
giving her fish eyes.
100%. I absolutely love it. Um, the head sculpt on Major Bludd is pretty lacking. I am disappointed with it, I will admit. Helmet's removable. Uh,
At least the helmet comes off.
yeah, I think they tried. They just I don't know if it's just the paint apps aren't because sometimes the head sculpts are fantastic and the paint just doesn't do the sculpt justice. And then sometimes the sculpt is not good, and even no matter how much paint you put on it, it's not going to come out well.
No, it looks okay to me. So
Yeah, from a distance, it's not so bad, but once you get it up close and start looking at it, you're like, yeah, okay, I can kind of see what people are complaining
it
about.
it doesn't have as much character as the actual classified Major Blood does, but I mean it's a different scale, so
And
it's
that
fine.
that is definitely part of it. I was going to mention that as well, is that it's you're not going to it's the classified figure is not going to transition the same way to a smaller scale. It just can't. You're not going to be able to get the details into that. The rest of the figure, he has all the dog, the collection of dog tags is on there. It's not sculpted on. It's a single piece, or yeah, it's a loose piece. So that's cool. He comes with the vintage style weapon, and then that big old monster pistol that I absolutely love.
Yeah, dude, that thing. You know, I can imagine the entrance wound. I can't imagine the exit wound.
He put a
Um,
ball through it, I'll bet.
I was gonna say you take the back of a human head off with that.
I didn't check to see if the rockets in the backpack come out. Oh yeah, they do. Look at that. So
Wow,
yep,
those are tiny. Don't lose those.
I know it's going right up on the shelf as soon as the show's done. Oop, gosh, this is really hard looking at the phone and not the figure. So all in all, I think it's a fantastic figure. I It is kind of hard to look past the head sculpt, but like I said, from a distance, I think it looks just fine. And the Baroness looks fantastic. I absolutely love the Baroness. Uh,
Um,
I would
yeah,
like
both figures look good to me.
I would like to see them redo the Baroness. I would like I would pick up if they did a Crimson set, like the Crimson, the one that came with the Crimson twins. Uh, and I would like to see them do the pilot Baroness figure from the Rattlers, the his tank or the I'm sorry, the HasLab Rattler.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening, but okay, there we go. I don't see that happening. I am curious to see where the line goes from here. I'm hopefully optimistic that they will be able to continue this. I still think this line is going to be it's going to have a hard time surviving because it's not readily available in the United States. There are a couple places that you can get them from. Um, I've had no problems with dealing with either of the two companies that are the two big providers for these. So, I mean, you can get them. They are a little pricey. I mean, they're about what a classified figure costs. So, I think between the price point and the fact that they're not readily available, it's going to really be hard to sustain this line. I mean, I know there are a lot of 1/18 scale collectors out there like myself, but man, I just don't see it lasting for any length, I don't know. I just don't see this line lasting for more than a couple of years just because there's just not enough support for it, I don't think.
You know what? I look at it this way. At least they're shipping them finally.
Yeah, absolutely. I am happy to see that they are finally shipping
For a
them.
little while, it looked like a fictional toy line that only existed on the internet. So
And I think we mentioned it on the a couple episodes back, but they did show at one of the conventions in Asia, they did show prototypes for Outback and Torpedo, I believe. So those figures theoretically will be coming. I have not seen pre-orders for those. I,
no, because otherwise you would have already had them pre-ordered,
yeah, and I can't. I think I would.
especially Torpedo.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I would have noticed if somebody I would have noticed somebody posting that
The
pre-orders.
Full Force would have posted it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he
So
is the most reliable news source for GI Joe on the internet. So, um,
yeah, they're pretty good about that. I definitely check their page once a day to
I I swear to God, when I bring up Facebook, I swear to God, one of the top three posts on my feed is the Full Force with the little explosion emojis, and I'm like, oh, what news did I miss? So, yeah, Chris McLeod, he's very good at staying on top of these things. So,
I think the most recent thing that I had seen from them was kind of more of a final prototype of the it was disassembled, it wasn't completely assembled, but it was of the Frag Viper, and that thing just looks amazing. I cannot wait to
oh yeah, yeah.
and no, I wouldn't call it quite a paint master, but pretty close to. It's probably an early prototype of Darklon. It was just the figure with some paint on it. I don't think it was the final, but um, there are
They
other characters I would like to see other than Darklon first, but the fact that they're digging so deep and pulling out a character like this gives me hope for characters that I do want to see.
um I'll say this about what we've seen of Darklon. Now we have not seen his head sculpt. We have seen the entire body, but we have not seen. And I do think if the colors aren't final, they're probably pretty close. They basically darkened the red, so it's not even maroon. It's flat out. It's a burgundy red, and they darkened the boot, so it's less just brown. It's less puke brown everywhere. It's a lot of black and a lot of yellow for the padding, and it's still dark lawn, so it's still meh. But I do think that I do think it looks better than the vintage version. I do think with the darkened colors, he will fit better with the Iron Grenadiers than the original did. Um, for a character that was supposed to be some kind of blood relation to Destro, he certainly looked like he wanted to be the odd man out in on the military side of Mars.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I had a lot of other stuff. I mean, general geekery, we talk about just general geekery stuff. My wife and I started watching the third season to Umbrella Academy, third or fourth season, the most recent season at any rate.
The final season,
Final season. That's there you go. Not impressed. Uh,
I've
we
I,
have liked and very much enjoyed all the previous seasons up until now. We watched the first three episodes. There are only six episodes in this last season where there has been 10 in the previous. And it's not very good so far.
I don't watch the show, but what reviews I have seen on Facebook, like that seems to be the general consensus is all the same people are making it. So why doesn't it have the same level of engagement and quality and just being good that the previous seasons had?
Yeah. So
It's not like they had a creative change behind the scenes. No, it just a lot of people just seem to be kind of disappointed that the last season they didn't stick the landing. That's somebody's review I read said exactly that. They said they just couldn't stick the landing on this. And we waited a long time for disappointment.
Yeah. We will probably, like I said, there's only 6 episodes. We've watched 3. We are planning on finishing it out just to say we finished it out. But I know
Well, you gotta watch the last three.
looks like they're bumping up the release to the Star Wars TV show Skeleton Crew a couple weeks, I think. That looks pretty interesting. I'm gonna watch that for sure. Seems like
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they moved up the release date from December 3rd to December 2nd
oh,
because they want to appeal to the grown-ups that grew up on, that the we grew up on ET, Amblin entertainment stuff, and and the people who want to share these things with their kids. And I think it looks like fun. Pirates in Star Wars. That's it. That's all I need. Just tell me there's pirates.
it's
I
funny you
love all the
say that 'cause
pirate content we got in the Mandalorian. I love all the pirate content that we got throughout the Clone Wars series. I've always been a big fan of bounty hunters. So that's it. That's all I need. Just I'm looking forward to the show, and I think it looks like a whole lot of fun.
yeah, I was gonna say to me it looks like Goonies in space. So
That's exactly what they were shooting for. That's exactly what they're going for with
I
it.
think it looks fantastic. I'm interested to see what they come up with on that. Movie wise, saw the preview for Craven the Hunter. Um,
That
I
looks awful.
I don't know what to think of that. I think if they're
That
gonna,
looks awful.
so yeah, Emily saw the previews for it and she said, so if you want to go see it with somebody, JD is gonna have to come out and go and see it with you because she is not.
She's not going anywhere near that.
Um, I'm I'm kind of I'm kind of disappointed because it looks like they're trying to do what Marvel does with every villain that becomes popular and make them a hero, or at the very least an anti-hero. And I am so sick of that. I am so sick of them like, oh, here's a popular villain. We need to make him a hero
You
now.
just want to see bad guys doing bad things and being bad people.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't like them changing the whole concept of the character because they became popular. That defeats the whole purpose of the character.
Well, in this case, Craven doesn't have the powers of a lion in the comics, right?
He in the comics he has like I'm just gonna call it like a jungle juice that he it's kind of
Okay, that's both funny and gross at the same time. Um,
so I mean
so
he does have like some mystic potion that does give him superpowers.
yeah, but
What I recall, I don't know, it's been a long time.
does
But
it turn him into a human lion? Because that's what they did in the movie. He got lion blood, and now he's got lion superpowers.
I don't know. I I was interested to see it. One of my favorite all-time storylines, um, and because it's got Mike Zeck art, is and the storyline is fantastic, is Craven's Final Hunt. It ran
I
through
never read it, so
2 issues through all 3 Spider-Man titles at the time. I ended up getting the trade paperback when I was in high school. I won a shopping spree, $1,000 shopping spree at a comic book store, and that was like one of the things I picked up. And I absolutely love it. It's a fantastic story. The art is amazing because it's Mike Zeck art. Um, so I absolutely, it's one of my favorite storylines is Craven's Final Hunt. It's worth picking up the trade paperback for. So I was a little interested to see what they would do with the movie, and I don't know. I kind of want to see it, but man, I'm gonna be disappointed if they are trying to make him a hero. So
I'm not entirely certain they know what they're trying to do there. But
yeah, and I get that the sense of that with a lot of the properties, and I see that saw the preview for the final Venom movie. I still have not seen the previous 2. Uh,
Blake and I went to go see it. We loved it, but we loved the first two. So um, this was just as much fun, and there were more symbiotes. So I loved it. So
well, I'm glad somebody did. Like I said, I that's another one of those villains that they turned into a hero because he got popular, and I lost a lot of interest. And
Venom, the lethal protector. In fact, they actually use that. They actually use that. They they actually call they actually call themselves that in the movie. So
yeah, because that was what the comic book was called when he
yeah,
got.
but I mean that's like he actually said we're the lethal protector in the movie. So
Okay, that
um
stuff like that I kind of dig because it's a nod to the comic books, but at
yeah, oh yeah.
the same point in time, the whole premise just is off-putting to me. So, um, I don't think I think we touched on all of the like big pre-orders. I haven't seen anything new for G.I. Joe Classified, nothing new real cool for Marvel Legends or Star Wars that I've seen recently. Um, and
I
talked
swear to God, every time I see Star Wars pre-orders, I'm at a point where look, I grew up on Star Wars. My entire teenage existence was reading Star Wars stuff, but I swear to God, I'm at a point now where all the Mandalorian figures are starting to look like the same damn character to me. And I swear every time I see a pre order, it's either a trooper or a Mandalorian. And look, I love clones, but there's a lot of them and I can't afford them. So I can't get excited about them. But I just, yeah, there's yet more Mandalorians. I'm like, you know, they really are a bunch of people wearing different colored armor. So
about.
it's really ideal for Hasbro and their repaint syndrome, but there's a whole lot of characters that deserve action figures that they ain't getting them. So
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because there's definitely a lot of characters that I would like to see get figures. I just kind of pick and choose. I still do pick up Star Wars stuff. I had said that I was going to stop getting Star Wars stuff when I opened all of the Star Wars stuff that I had carded. I have not.
there's certain ones that I have to get. There's certain clone characters that put out that I get. I don't army build. So the generic like the all white clone troopers, the all white stormtroopers, I don't need them. I like the clone characters and uh specific other characters, but I just eh, whatever.
Okay.
I'm
So, whatever. If I see something that sparks my fancy, I'll pick it up. But I definitely am not a completist by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, I don't army build, but I do pick up one here and there. I think that was about it. I don't think I had anything else.
I just wanted to do a show before because we've got a post Thanksgiving show with a guest lined up that we'll do this weekend, but we haven't done this in a little bit, so I just wanted to do a show.
Absolutely. And yeah, that think that'll be about it because I gotta get going because I gotta go to work tomorrow.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
All
Thanks
right.
everybody for listening.
And as always, please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you think about the Street Fighter figures, the Monster Force stuff, and anything else that is on your mind. We do get back to all the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.